Hi, everybody. Welcome to the VAU Mic Check. And today we have a special. And what we've got is an opportunity for everybody to book a gig. It's going to be a video game gig. And we have two scripts here that we're going to go over that we get to choose from. And so, without any further ado, hey, Michael, let everybody know what this is all about.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. There was the button. Look at that. Well, why is it the voice actors seem to have so many issues with buttons? I could not find my mute. Yes. So there was a video game series that was out for quite some time before where that was incredibly popular. But the company BioWare has this little history of opening up their games to competitions, actually, to allow people to audition for open parts and potentially make it into a video game. So we actually did something for the same company. I believe it was last year. No. It was longer than that before. For a game called Dragon Age Inquisition. Well, this time around, it's for a game called Mass Effect Andromeda. There are two open parts that they're auditioning, just like last time. And today we have, those are going to be our scripts. We're going to be for the intrepid reporter, Jordan Tate, or the so incredible to the plot, as it seems, tough mercenary. Yeah, it really is that detailed. Tough mercenary. But anyway, those are the two parts that are open, and those are the scripts that we are going to be working with.
So, okay, being that this is a dialogue script, somebody's going to need to read the second role.
Well, unfortunately, the actor that they hired for that one we do not have on the mic check currently. So. Yeah, too bad. I would have loved to have gotten that role, but whatever. Eventually.
Oh, it will happen.
Yeah, all in due time, as I keep getting told. But I want it now. Can I be famous already? I'm just kidding. No, I have to go ahead and mute up really quick, but yeah, I will be right back.
Okay. Being that this is a two choices here of characters, which there are some gigs where there are occasions when you get booked for more than one.
Yes. So yes, I guess we can. Yeah, the rules that we set out are everybody has to go ahead and do one, but it is up to you whether or not you want to do both.
Okay.
And since Alyssa had already put out some lines for this, I don't know. I'm thinking about volunteering her first. What do you think, Nathan?
I think that's a good idea.
Sure. I can try it.
It's not like you're on the spot or anything, but
No, not whatsoever.
Okay, so is someone reading the other part, or should I just read it, or should I just skip it?
I don't know. I think.
Well, what we did before was we had someone reading the other part.
Okay.
That would give you something to bounce off of, kind of an ensemble type of thing.
Okay, well, I'm going to do the first script, which is the Jordan Tate.
What? You're not going to do the tough mercenary?
Hey, I can try that one too.
We're clearly tough mercenary type voices. Right?
There you go.
I can make it work.
Again, it's about the attitude, not the voice.
Exactly.
I truly think that anybody can play any role. It's about the attitude, not the voice.
Hey, buddy, I'm gonna fight you right now.
Stigma.
If I may, Tara Strong. No, yeah. Seriously. Tara Strong, incredibly prolific voice actor, Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls. I know she's also in My Little Pony and a bunch of other things. But if you want to, if I may use her as an example for the whole tough mercenary thing, Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more crazy, but it's still sort of like her incredibly unique and higher pitched voice, but in sort of a tough girl, role. So it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yes, who shall play Ryder?
I'll step up.
All right.
How's my level?
Very
Sounded
good.
Good.
So yeah, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Hi there. Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance bid maker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. The people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all? Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
All right, what do you guys think?
I didn't really get the direction from your reads. Like, it was very similar tone through the entire time. It was very writer, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vid maker. Like, I need a bit more shades of emotion in there on the different takes when they have direction there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a new copyright, by the way, to go with Peaks and Valleys.
I'm sorry, I really don't think Peaks and Valleys is going anywhere for a while. Just to be totally honest, I really don't think it's going anywhere for quite some time. No, but I would say, channel your inner sleuth. Like get down to business as soon as you can.
Okay.
I think that's, I don't know, that's kind of what it seems like. Yeah, you're friendly at the beginning, but like this is a real, I guess, world is the wrong thing, but universe that's facing some major misinformation, and you want to get to the bottom of it.
So, do you think it should be a little more serious? Because I was kind of going a little more.
Yeah, I think it should be a little bit more poignant.
Okay.
Specifically because for reference from the other games, there's another set of the similar characters that you run into, but they're usually pretty poignant, pretty pointed, and pretty focused on what they want. So it's not like they hired people who really did sound like almost like your typical I'm trying to get to the bottom of the story sort of reporter.
And
Okay.
it also feels like if you look at the context of what they're talking about, it seems like Drake is trying to portray Andromeda as like some sort of like peace-filled wonderland, but it's like war-ravaged and stuff. And so you're trying to get the information from this guy who's probably a soldier for Drake as far as you know,
Mm-hmm.
but you feel that they're trying to help you. And when you find out they're not, you kind of like shift like, okay, it's just they're just trying to get me away, so let me just get this over with.
Okay.
Someone is not telling the truth. That is what you want to fix.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let me give it another go.
All right. So same two. Right back to where you were. Ready, and whenever you're ready, go for it.
Hello. Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance bid maker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. The people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all? Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
All right. What did you guys think?
That last line sounded like you were holding on to that rueful, and you kind of didn't flow back into the pleased and grateful.
And on the line where you're supposed to be pointed, you're not really calling anybody out. You're just kind of like saying like, no trouble at all. Okay, whatever. It's more that one you're poking it, like you're taking a jab at him, like, oh, those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne, right? Okay.
Yeah,
whatever.
there's a bit of sarcasm in that line. I mean, you're gonna like, right, no trouble at all. Are those scars on your armor from just popping the champagne?
Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, there's a natural skepticism that I'm reading as I read it that I'd like to hear more from you. But you're as a documentarian, you're naturally a little skeptical about the whole thing.
And also, you don't believe in this project. Like, Drake sent you over to like make an uplifting documentary. That's your job, but you have an ulterior motive. Your ulterior motive is that you're trying to reveal what's really happening. So he may have asked for a documentary that's uplifting about Andromeda, but that's probably not what you're going to give him.
This is kind of like Good Morning Vietnam. I don't know if you saw that movie, but they were trying to get him to kind of whitewash what was going on when he was doing the radio stuff. So it's basically that same type of situation.
Okay.
And one last thing, if I may.
Yes.
Since it's supposed to be, two characters interacting, I actually like to see you speed it up a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
Because when, people talk, they're usually pretty quick. But just a little bit more speed, I think, would probably add to that.
Okay.
Anyway, with all of that, go ahead.
Hello. Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation: paint rainbows over our problems. The people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all? Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
Okay. Yeah, you sounded you did the very there was a thank you tacked onto the end of that's all for now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all, folks. So I know. Well, yeah. What did everybody think of that? Got it. Got it. That's
Everybody goes.
nobody wants to follow it up.
They're all
Was
rubbing their
the
chins.
pacing a
Yeah,
little better?
I literally am rubbing my chin.
What is this?
Yes, the
Hey,
pace was a little bit better.
the big-
Definitely. I don't know if you want to. If you want to, we could have like what we've done in the past. Have everybody go. Have everybody, go around and give their own takes, so that you can, maybe pick and choose a few things that maybe you didn't notice, or listen to some other performances before coming back to yours. But because that always opens up different opportunities and possibilities. And since this is something that could potentially lead to an actual job, I would love to see somebody from here on our mic check group get these jobs.
Oh yes.
Yep.
So if you, again, yours is the only performance we've had so far, and that only means we've had a sample size of 1. So if there were other things that somebody else, may do or whatnot that can really fit with yours, it might even help you out just to listen to some of the other performances.
Yeah, let me do that. I think that would help.
Okay.
Okay. I think I'll take this next.
What do we get to hear? Tough mercenary Nathan?
I don't remember actually getting an opportunity to read a script with you, Nathan. So would you guys mind if I played the alternate parts?
Have fun.
Go ahead.
Okay. By the way, I'm going to be doing the freelance vid maker.
Okay, so you're going to be Jordan Tate.
Yeah. Hi. Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vid maker. Superintendent Drake's been asking for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt, blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's been looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go and see Andromeda for themselves.
Yeah, right, sure. No trouble at all. Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Well, never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Oh, bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so hey, that's all for now.
All right, what do you guys think?
I'll jump in.
Please do.
Second part of the second line, paint rainbows over the problems. I didn't feel that sarcastic bubbly there. Second line in the second take, I want dirt for blood. Not really a lot of differentiation between the disdainful and the eager there. And then third line of the fourth exchange, I think that you have to kind of work on the rueful part of it. It doesn't sound like you're a warning in your voice. You're going to be sorry, sort of rueful tone to it.
Anyone else?
I want more peaks and valleys, please. It's like you don't come across as really sarcastic to me, Nathan. You're sounding very genuine, and I want you to feel more like a rat.
Feel more like a rat.
I'm not sure where she's going with that.
Be the rat.
Like, oh, I'm gonna expose the truth about Andromeda. These people need to know. They need to know everything about this place. It's
I'm going to
terrible.
peel back those layers one layer at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of it.
Exactly.
Like you're essentially a TMZ journalist.
Oh, that kind of.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to shred you for all you're worth, brother. Yeah. The Southerner just came out.
All right, well, let's do this again, shall we?
Take two. Hi, Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's been asking for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
Look, if we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt, blood, not convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't really tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
Yeah, okay, no trouble at all. Are those scars on your arm just from popping a champagne? Well, never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Oh, hey, bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts. So, hey, that's all for now.
Opening it up, what did you guys think?
Well, one thing I noticed is that when you say the line, I want the dirt and blood, you're not saying dirt and blood. You're saying, I want the dirt, pause, blood. And, blah, blah, blah. And you're adding a lot of embellishments to the script, which are kind of changing its feel a bit, I feel.
So stick with the script.
Yeah.
I had two lines that I noticed right at the beginning. Jordan Tate, freelance bid maker. It came off to me very reedy. Like, I didn't feel like you were actually like maybe shaking hands with the person or, actually introducing yourself. It was kind of like you just read that line. And then at the end, never mind if that's your take, that's what goes in. You lost your character a little bit on that line. It just kind of dropped. But I will say the rainbows line was a lot better this time.
One more thing I'll add, I guess, the no trouble at all sounded more like a statement than you were confronting him. That's my 2 cents.
Hey man, champagne's deadly.
That cork scars up the armor real good.
Yep.
That's a beautiful sarcastic statement.
All right, well, let's go ahead and dive back in.
Ryder, isn't it? Hi, Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's been asking for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
Look, if we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, do you think things are going? Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
So, no trouble at all? Are those scars on your arm just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Oh, bandwidth means I'm translating in short bursts, so that's all for now.
You guys know the drill. It's open.
On the first line, you're not really sounding friendly. you're kind of just you starting out just calling him out. Like, I think when he's introduced to Ryder, what he's feeling is that, or she, what they are feeling is that Ryder is the person who's going to give them the answers. They're a soldier out here. They've been going through this war. They've been shot, maybe, and all this other stuff. They're the one who gets that the people need to know what's going on out here, and you're hoping that you can use that as your lever to get him to say what you want to say or tell you what's really going on out here. So when you start out, you're being friendly because you feel like they're going to give you what you want. But then when you start detecting that that's not the case, that's when you start transitioning to, okay, well, I'm going to try to press you for it.
Okay.
A couple things I heard on that one. In the middle, if we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I didn't get the disdainful at the beginning of that. It's like you're saying, if we pretend everything's fine and that's what we're doing and that's not okay, like that needs to come through, that you think that that's not right. And then when you get to, well, how do you think things are going? That's like a switch, like you kind of just turned a switch that like now this is business, you're starting the interview because, the direction there is professional and focused. I think the first part is more of you're just having a conversation and now you're like transitioning into actually interviewing for the documentary. So I just like a little more of a switch on that line.
Mm-hmm. And to add on the second line, you don't really sound annoyed at the first part. You're kind of just saying it, and then when you get to the translation, maybe I think it's more like you're mocking him. Like, he tells me he wants this, but what he really means is that he wants me to do this. And so, like, when you do that, normally you're like mocking somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in that first paragraph, your emotions change 3 times. So that's something that you gotta be aware of when you're doing your read.
Got you.
And then the crickets.
And then the crickets.
Well, I mean, when you look at it, right, it starts off just like you would if you was walking up to somebody that you either knew or didn't know, and then he's telling them, look, I'm here because I really don't. I'm here for my reason, but I was instructed to do something else. But this is what I want to do. So you got to kind of transition through that whole thing with that in mind. Like, hey, how you doing? I was sent here to do this, and this ain't really what I want to do, but this is what I really need.
Okay. Hi, Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's been asking for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Michael, you muted.
Michael's digging for his button again.
You know what?
We don't want that on film.
You know what? Yeah.
Quick, somebody do a Michael impression.
Can we just cut that out in post?
Yeah, we're gonna edit that in post-production.
No.
I'm going to leave it in.
All right. Anyway, from the top, shall we?
Okay. Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time. I don't know why I'm tripping up over myself. Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all, then. Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Well, never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Oh, bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
All right, I think everybody knows the drill by this point, right?
I thought that last line was good. You sounded grateful, so that was good.
This is really nitpicky, but it's like I'm really not feeling bubbly at the end. Like you just sound more annoyed than you were previously.
Do we want to go around? Like, do we want to do that same thing, Nathan? Maybe take a listen to some of the performances before diving back in.
Yeah, that could help. I'm going to try something, and then and do one more take. I'm going to go on mute for a second because I'm going to try a little something to loosen up a little bit, and then I will. You're right. I'm going to dive right into it as soon as I'm done.
So be ready, Michael.
Got it. For my breakout lines as writer in this script on the VAU mic check.
What's he doing? Hit his head on the mic?
Yes. Somebody up their microphone?
That's a way to pattern break, I guess.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
Hi, Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vid maker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all? Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
I think in general that was a lot better.
Yeah, it's big improvement.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah.
Whatever you did to break up your pattern, it worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Punching your microphone.
I will explain because I'm in such a short space from my microphone. That's why I muted, because what I did was something that I heard Richard Horvitz instruct somebody to do on a YouTube video I watched. That was in one of his classes, and he instructed this lady to laugh out loud and then dive right into the script at the end of laughing.
Okay.
So I used that as a pattern break.
Give it a big old lull.
Yeah, I've actually done it a little bit. I've carried it on a little bit longer for something else that I did, but it really works well to just kind of break up the mindset and loosen you up for what you're going to do.
Interesting.
It's not a bad piece of advice.
It was a little exercise he had somebody do, and I was like, man, I'm going to do that. And it worked. It worked for me in something else I've been doing, so I thought I would try it here. And it worked. So
Alrighty then. Well, We can go ahead and come back around if you'd like to later, but I think this is a good time to move on.
I agree.
Who would like to go next?
I'll take a stab at it.
Oh, JD.
All right, so we got JD stabbing things. Did you want to do Jordan Tate or the Tough Mercenary?
I'll do Jordan.
Okay.
Team Jordan.
You can do both if you like. It's just, you might as well clarify that at the beginning. All right, so who volunteers to play Ryder?
Play Ryder.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's asked us about an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want dirt and blood, not the conventional fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all. Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts. So that's all for now.
That first line was my favorite so far of anyone. I thought you really, I really thought that you were, talking to this person, introducing yourself, and that you were Jordan Tate. So it was very believable. The only thing I would say is there were a couple lines that you definitely were rushing on, which made it feel like you were reading because, when we're talking, we're thinking of the words as we're saying them, and it sort of felt like a couple lines you were just blowing through, and so it sounded a little reedy.
Yeah, I agree with that. There were some pauses that needed to go in that weren't there.
Yeah. You also said conventional instead of convenient from Fairy Tale.
Okay.
Past that, I guess just more emotional variety for me.
Wait, don't say it. Peaks and valleys.
Yeah. We're just waiting for somebody to just have that as a button now.
I wish.
Just throw it in every studio. It's just
exactly. More peaks and valleys. We'll call it the Dodge motivational button. Anyway, why don't you go ahead and try it again?
I don't want to.
Okay. All right. If you want to pass the torch and listen to some other performances in the background, you can. You're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'll go one more time. I'll just mess with it.
All right. Go for it.
Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all. Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts. So that's all for now.
That darn mute button. All right. What'd you think? Did that one change up at all for you guys, or was
it sounded
still...
like it changed up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was better. I liked it a lot.
And he capped it off just like he started it with that. That he went back into that. I'm really happy with what I'm doing here. or at least, because he's broadcasting, he's pretending to be happy.
Well, any critiques? Any?
Yeah, somebody kill me.
I thought it was much improved too. Still a little rushed on certain lines, but overall, I didn't have that much to critique.
Yeah, I'd like it slowed down a bit more.
No, actually, I think the pace was fine personally. Because again, this is he sounded like somebody who was looking almost like your stereotypical, almost not exactly, but kind of like that stereotypical journalist that they want to get down to business and get into the story as soon as possible. And here I am talking and running out of breath. Okay, but you get the idea, right? It sounded like he was getting down to business, which I don't know. I feel fits with this script, but that's just.
There's a lot.
I believe you're right. He was getting down to business, being reporter, being journalist. I guess from somebody who sees journalists every day, he had that thing going on.
I mean, I get that but I guess what I'm looking for is more variety in the speed of the different lines. Like where the whole script was very fast, I think lines where it's just like no trouble at all, I think those could be slower because he's trying to dig. He's trying to actually get a look into the mind of the person he's talking to.
Well, and I understand what you're saying, but when it says pointed, that means that he don't care what his opinion is. He's like, yo, listen, I see what I see. So why don't you just stop BSing me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I get that. I tell it like I see it. You've got scars and they ain't coming because you're out there drinking champagne and eating hors d'oeuvres.
Bonbons.
Kind of I don't know, we're all throwing out fancy foods. I thought all the cool kids were doing it.
Right. TK, you made a really good point. There are 3 emotions just in the first exchange. This is a pretty complex script. I think much more so than the second one. That's the only thing I would say is just try to bring that out a little more. You look at the direction and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Yeah, I see something in this script now that I didn't see before, but he brought that up. But see, okay, you're a reporter. You're trying to be objective as much as possible, even though, and I'm going to take this from kind of the personal way that I see things sometimes. I'll be watching the news, and I want to be objective, but at the same time, I will want to jump in and scream at the TV set, no, that's wrong. You need to change, and that's how you're feeling on the inside when you're approaching it. When you, Jordan Tate, are approaching this situation, you want to change things. You want to make a difference, and they're telling you to whitewash it. Yeah.
Here.
So that should help the emotional delivery on that one.
All right. If you'd like to go again, go for it. If not,
somebody else
pass the torch.
Roll through.
All right. We're passing the torch.
Hey, since nobody's done the Tough Mercenary yet, can I take a shot at that?
Absolutely.
All right.
So alternate to that, we also have the Worried Mercenary. Who will be worried?
I'll be worried if you want.
All right. Go for it. Be worried.
All right.
All right. I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from the crash. Here's your share.
You said we'd split the take evenly.
It's even. Do the math.
I've got a family. You don't. This isn't fair. We agreed.
To split the profits 50-50. How you feed your family is your problem.
I just keep thinking, what if I hadn't left the capital? Maybe I wouldn't have to worry about where my kids' next meals are coming from.
We're doing better than some.
But I worry one day that I'll cross Sanders and find my kids murdered.
Sanders doesn't kill kids. And you don't know that wouldn't have happened in the capital.
There were laws back there. Out here, it's thugs running the place.
A thug wearing a uniform is still a thug. Sanders was head of security back in the Capitol, and look what she's become. Look, things like rule of law, like decency, out of the window when things go bad.
So you wouldn't go back if you had the chance?
Hell no. It's not the best here, but I get to decide my life. It's what we wanted, right? A new start.
All right. What did you guys think?
Well, the worried mercenary, it didn't sound too worried to me.
Well,
The thing is, worried mercenary is just filler lines right now.
Yeah.
The most important one is tough mercenary.
Yeah, we're focusing on Shane's lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, if y'all gonna do the thing, y'all got to do the whole thing right. You can't.
You're right. I did not come off worried. I come off as the tough guy, I guess.
And I'm
The
sorry,
other tough mercenary.
because all of this is practice for everybody, right? So
Good point.
if you're gonna practice, right, the first thing they teach in the military, do it like it's live.
Hmm.
So if you're gonna practice, you might as well practice both of them.
Which really, that's good auditioning advice right there within itself.
Yeah.
All righty then.
and Shane,
There are no days off in voiceover.
except when you're not hired or anything.
So very good, Taki. I'm with you. The worried mercenary did not sound worried. Are you worried now?
Thank you, JD.
You better be worried.
I was trying
Worried
to
now.
act the tough guy.
Son, I'm both your producer, director, and your mother. Now I want you to drop and give me 20.
All right. The filler wants to do a second take.
Yes.
Okay. Second take on the filler. But what did you guys think of the tough mercenary performance?
He wasn't tough either.
Actually, he did sound a little bit too smooth at the start, and then he started building up steam as he went. I kind of noted that he was a little more on the callous, more tough mercenary side at the back end of it.
Shane, can you read the first line for me, like in your normal voice?
I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from the crash. Here's your share.
See, I think you sound tough enough in your normal voice instead of having to do that whole "I got a great deal" and the gruffness that you were putting on. It's
Yeah.
very hard to maintain that type of gravel in your voice when you don't naturally have it. It kind of like takes away from your ability to do various types of emotions like that because you're trying so hard to it's kind of like rolling the R's, I guess, is the kind of feeling. And it's hard to do that the entire script through. So I'd like to hear it with your normal voice, since you have a really rich, deep voice that would do well for that. Like in your natural tone, you don't have to put on a voice for it.
Just put a cigar in your mouth.
Well, remember, one thing that I think differentiates a really, really good video game voice actor from one who is not so good is their sense of place, of location. There are some actors who I don't know how they were hired. I think they were just trying to fill in the spots before deadlines. But there are others that really do have this incredible sense of place, like they're actually there. And I think that is going to really change up the the atmosphere of the performance, because you have these two people, mercenaries, but really they're just doing this to try to survive. And they're living in a place that is obviously incredibly hostile. And, they're probably away from society. This is their own society that they've created now. And you have one that's just trying to survive. And, well, both of them are trying to survive, but one of them is desperate, the worried mercenary, and the tough mercenary is just hiding it.
Yeah.
All right, so there's your direction.
Whenever you're ready, go for it.
All right. I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from the crash. Here's your share.
You said we'd split the take evenly.
It's even. Do the math.
I've got a family. You don't. This isn't fair. We agreed.
To split the profits 50-50. How you feed your family is your problem.
I just keep thinking, what if I hadn't left the capital? Maybe I wouldn't have to worry about where my next kid's meals are coming from.
We're doing better than some.
But I worry one day that I'll cross Sanders and I find my kids murdered.
Sanders doesn't kill kids, and you don't know that wouldn't have happened in the capital.
There were laws back there. Out here, it's thugs running the place.
A thug wearing a uniform is still a thug. Sanders was head of security back in the capital, and look what she's become. Trust me, things like rule of law, like decency, out the window when things go bad.
So you wouldn't go back if you got the chance?
Hell no. It's not the best here, but I get to decide my life. It's what we wanted, right? A new start.
Okay. I caught something there. The attitude you had right there at the end is what you need from the top down.
It seemed to intensify all the way through.
Yeah, it seemed to intensify like it did before. But, I mean, I know you're switching up emotions. You have to change that. But the heart that you had right there, that's your whole perspective from the get-go. And that's the perspective you need to have starting from the top.
I think that that both of them did a real good job on it, especially the worried part.
Thank you.
I think that all right, so this is what happens, right? Both of y'all are reading from the same script, and when you get to we agree to split the profit, that transition, you kind of almost got to cut him off to make that line work.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's where that hyphen is there. I mean, that's
right.
Jump right in.
But
in fact, it would probably be beneficial if
he just keeps making up words and
a couple of extra words at the end of it after agreed, and then
sure.
jump in there.
Yeah.
but we agreed to split the profits 50-50. So, but I think that if y'all work on your transitions from line to line, then that'll make it come together. I think y'all reading was actually really good. Hey, Mike, you got a lot of side noise.
So you're saying maybe just to tighten up the response time between the two characters? Okay.
Yeah. And that'll make the whole thing come together.
Mm-hmm.
I just have one line I want to mention. We're doing better than some. That line is supposed to be dismissive and unconcerned. So maybe just shrug that one off a little bit more. Maybe even literally shrug as you're saying it. That was the only one. I really, really liked both reads that you did. I really like your voice on the script.
Yeah, I don't think you should have changed anything. I like the way all of that went together.
All right, we'll try again from the top. I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from the crash. Here's your share.
You said we'd split the take evenly.
It's even. Do the math.
I've got a family. You don't. This isn't fair. We agreed that we'd
To split the profits 50-50. How you feed your family is your problem.
I just keep thinking, what if I hadn't left the capital? Maybe I wouldn't have to worry about where my next kid's meals are coming from.
We're doing better than some.
But I worry one day I'll cross Sanders and find my kids murdered.
Sanders doesn't kill kids. And you don't know that wouldn't have happened in the Capitol.
There were laws back there. Out here, it's thugs running the place.
A thug wearing a uniform is still a thug. Sanders was head of security back in the Capitol. And look what she's become. Trust me, things like rule of law, like decency, out the window when things go bad.
So you wouldn't go back if you got the chance?
Hell no. It's not the best here, but I get to decide my life. It's what we wanted, right? A new start?
That was a good delivery.
My only gripe is the line that you did when you said Sanders has had his security back in the Capitol, and look at and look what she's become. I don't think you just the delivery was a little bit off.
Yeah.
But everything else was great.
Very believable.
All right, cool. Well, shall we pass the torch?
Yes, let's shall.
Let's shall. Got it. If nobody has any objections, I would like to go next.
Okay.
I know, right? Horrible, 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 horrible. So I'm one of those that would like to do both of them, but I think I'll just start with the most popular Jordan Tate.
You want a name, Michael?
I would prefer a named character to an unnamed character, if I may. I would love to be able to tell people who say that, yeah, let me know when you're in your first video game. I'd love to go buy it. To be like, yeah, you should buy this one because I am an unnamed tough mercenary.
They see me in a cutscene.
I am additional voices.
I'm the uncredited additional voices.
Oh, God.
Actually, there is something I'm in that I'm additional voices, but it's actually a lot of fun doing that. Just the thrill of getting to be 5 different characters is a blast.
Right? All right, so who is going to be Ryder?
I'll do the rider since we can bounce that off of each other.
All right. Hi, Ryder, is it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all. Are those scars on your armor just from, popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
Okay. Your delivery sounded just a little bit stiff.
Okay.
Yeah, one line that I think kind of keeps getting glossed over, and I kind of noticed this from person to person, is that second line where it says translation, paint rainbows over our problems. That there's not. I know the instruction says fake bubbly, and I haven't really noticed anybody getting any doing that in any sort of colorful way.
Yeah,
you know?
I have to agree with that.
Hey, paint rainbows over our problems.
Maybe even a little tone of
Yeah,
sarcasm.
even almost kind of over the top, almost like broad.
Yeah,
Paint rainbows over our problems. You know.
Third line, people deserve the truth, not propaganda, came off more pointed than earnest. Maybe that's a fine line between the two. And towards the end, I've yet to hear anybody really nail the rueful tone, like you're going to be sorry. You know.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. If nothing else, then let's go back into it.
Take two.
Ryder, is it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all. And those scars on your arm are just from, what, popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
I thought that was really, really good. I thought you translated each line perfectly. You interpreted it exactly as the direction asked for it to be.
You hit the nice
really, really good.
fake bubbly right there on paint rainbows.
That one apparently took a little more over the top than I thought it would, but okay.
You got away from Michael with that and did a little bit more up talk, which needed to happen with that bit right there.
So I was too Michael for the rest of it?
Well, no.
Michael.
Gosh, I've been trying so hard to get all the Michael out of my performance.
Stop being yourself, Michael.
Yeah, I'll stop. I'll stop being so
exactly.
Michael.
In this performance, the I am for you is I am Jordan Tate. So
yeah, I'm trying to get to the mindset of the whole, if I may, I'm using this current election cycle as sort of my, I guess you could say, inspiration for the character. Just totally sick of all of the stupid details going around and want to get down to, what's actually going wrong. And,
Well, I mean, that's what they're doing. This is very much a social commentary character. Right?
What I do is I wrap my head with duct tape before I turn the news on. It helps. When my head explodes, all the pieces are contained.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
When you were saying, I was trying not to overdo the character, it's perfectly fine for you to. In fact, it's probably better that you overdo the character because it's a lot easier to get you to bring a character back than it is to bring you up from a flat performance.
Yeah. So, what was it? I heard a voice coach say, stretch the canvas.
So, like, even if you feel like, oh, this is a little bit too dorky, like, do it, because I prefer to hear you do too much. That way I know, okay, you can do a lot, you can do a lot more, and then bring you back. And if I need to push you further, I know you can do that. And just be like, okay, do a little bit more like you were doing before, but not as hardcore.
Okay. All right, then. Well,
Take 3.
let's do this. Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake's asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation? Paint rainbows over our problems. The people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a time of crisis is, perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? Like, I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all. And those scars on your arm are just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
That sounded way more free and relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it?
Yeah.
Hit the
Oh,
carrot?
really? The only thing I have to say is that on the part where you're like, no trouble at all, you're not actually, you're saying, and those scars on your armor are just like, you're saying it slightly differently.
I don't think I understand what you mean. Can you clarify
Instead
that?
of saying, are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne, you're saying, and those scars on your armor are from just popping the champagne.
Oh, okay. So I've been misreading the line.
Yeah.
No trouble at all. Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne?
Yeah.
Or are those scars on your armor just from popping? Okay. Okay. Is that it? You think I need to retake it, or?
No, I'm just saying this. Just read it.
Okay. Okay. In the future, I will make sure to read the script.
Close your eyes and just like feel this. Use Braille.
That is until the rewrite comes in, and then you have to reread
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Then I have to reinterpret it.
By the way, they've changed like 15 lines, so we need to
fly you back out.
Hey, you know what? I'm cool with those because then I can just go back out and, it's short work.
Yeah.
Even though I love being in the studio, but still, I'm cool with going back to the studio.
Oh, yes.
Let's see. Would anybody be opposed to me jumping into the Tough Mercenary script?
You do you, bro.
No, go ahead.
All right. Would you still like to be the worried mercenary?
Yes.
Nathan?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I closed up my.
All right. I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from the crash. Here's your share.
You said we split the take evenly.
It's even. Do the math.
I got a family. You don't. This isn't fair. We agreed to...
To split the profits 50-50. How you feed your family is your problem.
I just keep thinking, what if I hadn't left the capital? Maybe I wouldn't have to worry about where my kids' next meals are coming from.
We're doing better than some.
But I worry that one day I'll cross Sanders and find my kids murdered.
Sanders doesn't kill kids. And you don't know that wouldn't have happened in the capital.
There were laws back there. Out here, it's thugs running the place.
A thug wearing the uniform is still a thug. Sanders was head of security back in the capital. Look what she's become. Trust me, things like rule of law, like decency, out the window when things go bad.
So you wouldn't go back if you had the chance?
Hell no. It's not the best out here, but I get to decide my life. It's what we wanted, right? A new start?
Muy bien.
Wow. In
Well,
Spanish.
I'll jump in.
Go for it.
We're doing better than some. Sounded reassuring as opposed to dismissive. And Sanders doesn't kill kids. Didn't sound more like a statement than if you were kind of scoffing and laughing off his remark.
Okay.
The second to last line, trust me, things like rule of law. There was a little too much like feeling in that instead of just matter of fact. That's the only thing I noticed.
Okay. So I need to bland that one up a bit more. Well, not
You could
bland.
add a bit more Michael to it.
Yes, I will add a bit more Michael to that one. I will take some more Michael away from the previous ones too, just to balance it out. All right, so those were the main points.
Yeah, I guess so.
The silence is a yes. All right. I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from the crash. Here's your share.
You said we split the take evenly.
It's even. Do the math.
I got a family. You don't. This isn't fair. We agreed to split.
To split the profits 50-50. How you feed your family is your problem.
I just keep thinking, what if I hadn't left the capital? Maybe I wouldn't have to worry about where my kids' next meals are coming from.
We're doing better than some.
But I worry that one day I'll cross Sanders and find my kids murdered.
Sanders doesn't kill kids. And you don't know that wouldn't have happened in the capital.
There were laws back there. Out here, it's thugs running the place.
A thug wearing the uniform is still a thug. Sanders was head of security back at the Capitol, and look what she's become. Trust me, things like rule of law, like decency, out the window when things go bad.
So you wouldn't go back if you had the chance?
Well, no. It's not the best out here, but I get to decide my life. It's what we wanted, right? A new start? So, does the silent mean I won? Silence?
I do like how you changed Sanders' gender from one read to the next. I think Sanders was a
Did I
she.
say she? Ay. Sorry, my wife has been doing a lot of office work in the background. It's been a little distracting. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to just go ahead and try one more time.
Sure.
Free of distractions. I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from the crash. Here's your share.
You said we'd split the take evenly.
It's even. Do the math.
I've got a family. You don't. This isn't fair. We agreed to
To
split.
split the profits 50-50. How you feed your family is your problem.
I just keep thinking, what if I hadn't left the capital? Maybe I wouldn't have to worry about where my kids' next meals are coming from.
We're doing better than some.
But I worry that one day I'll cross Sanders and find my kids murdered.
Sanders doesn't kill kids. You don't know that wouldn't have happened in the capital.
There were laws back there. Out here, it's thugs running the place.
A thug wearing the uniform is still a thug. Heck, Sanders was head of security back at the Capitol, and look what she's become. Trust me, things like rule of law, like decency, out the window when things go bad.
So you wouldn't go back if you had the chance?
Hell no. It's not the best out here, but I get to decide my life. It's what we wanted, right? A new start?
I like how you punched that on I get to decide my life.
Wow, so much silence. I'm not on mute, am I? Oh, okay.
Not this time.
You're good.
I wasn't imagining Nathan doing the opposite lines or anything. So, at any changes, any input, anything?
No.
No?
It's not sufficiently mean that I'm caring. Very Michael.
I am.
Very Michael.
Wow. All right. All right. Well then, that makes me feel great. So, I guess if there's nothing else, then yeah. Well, that was the most in character one I felt, at least, and that's because I was lacking in distractions.
Yeah, that was your best one, I thought.
You became tough mercenary.
I was the tough mercenary.
Yes.
Exactly.
Enough to become a named mercenary.
We need to work together more often, Michael. I enjoy playing off of you like that.
This is we need more multi-reader scripts.
Let's do another one next time.
Let's.
I'm actually trying to find a whole lot more of those.
So, yeah, I feel pretty confident about my reads. I guess if, well, that's it. Who's next?
Well, I haven't gone yet.
All right. Which one do you want to do? One, the other, both?
Well, let's see how it goes. I think I'll try Jordan.
Okay.
Hmm?
So then who will play Ryder
Do it
opposite?
again.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, go for it.
Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drakes asks us for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is the time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, what does that truly serve? I want dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale that Drake's looking for.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all? Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
All right, opening it up. What do you think?
The second group of lines there, starting with "if we pretend," those two lines, I didn't believe you when you were saying them. I didn't believe that you were actually, connecting those lines to something that you were feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of just a read.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just make sure you're connecting what you're thinking and the scenario that's going on around you with what you're saying.
Well, ouch. Okay. I'll try not to trip over my tongue next time, too.
I'd personally like more peaks and valleys. Like, I actually like it if you overdid it a bit more.
All right. Yeah, I haven't really practiced a lot of character reads, more narration and that sort of thing, so a little new for me.
Like, the script is, while it is words on a page, you got to make it feel like you're talking to a person. You're not narrating. You're not saying they are doing this right now. It's two people talking to each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having a conversation. Let's get some tea, and like with lemon and nice honey. Just sit and talk about how bad Andromeda is right now.
All right, anybody else?
No, that's it. Go for it.
All right. Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drakes asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale that Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all? Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means on transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
There are a couple lines that came off a bit weird to me. When you said, I want dirt and blood, and if that's your take, that's what goes in, you're doing the kind of like the swoopy thing. Where it's like, I want dirt and blood. It kind of sounds a bit off.
I was trying to be eager, and
Yeah.
was it too eager?
Yeah, it's because you can express eager in different ways. Like you can be happy eager, but you can also be like intense eager. I want dirt and blood.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, happy eager sounds a little more like the Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was out of place, I suppose. You're right.
And if that's your take, that's what goes in. It's kind of more like you're dismissing him. Like, okay, if that's all you want to say, that's what I'll put in there.
And on never mind, I would sound a little more disappointed. Like you wanted to get the truth out of this person, and they're still just glazing everything over, making it sound like everything's okay, and so you're disappointed on that never mind.
Yeah, maybe a bit jaded on it.
You know, that's a different take than what I got from the direction, but I think you're right. Yeah. Like he's disappointed more so than he's telling him, well, you know, thanks for nothing.
Yep.
I want people to know the truth, but they think people can't handle the truth.
And as for the bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, I think that's like a line where it's like after you just had this huge cutscene with this character and the model is still standing there and you try to talk to them again to see what else they say, that's just like the line that's going to get repeated over and over again to get you to walk away.
Yeah, I was confused. If this is an exchange, where pleased and grateful comes in the next line.
So I think after you have this huge dramatic cutscene, you're pretty much just being nice to him just to get him to walk away because you don't have anything else to do with him.
It's either that or in this spot right here, okay? For those of us in broadcasting will understand this, is you've turned away from the interview at this point and you're talking to your audience.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that's probably true.
Well, because, I mean, I see this on a daily basis. You know, somebody will get to the end of a program or they'll get to the end of an interview and they'll be like, well, we're short on time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we got to go away and let somebody else have this spot. That sort of thing.
So are you taking it from a standpoint that this is more like a live exchange, top to bottom?
It may not be a live exchange, but pre-recorded because he knows he's making this documentary for the people. He's probably a host as well.
Yeah. It is a documentary, so all of this is going to be, you know, people are going to see all of this separately. Or, you know, after all of this exchange takes place. So basically, this is all like behind the scenes making. Sort of stuff.
Yeah, I took it as an off-camera exchange before, which.
Yeah, but I think where it really turns around is as soon as it gets professional and focused. You know, as soon as it reaches that point, I think that's where it really turns around in the script.
Yeah, that's how I took it because this talking about Drake kind of behind his back, that wouldn't be broadcast.
Yeah, that would not be something to put on there.
Yes.
And knowing how these games actually work at the very end, at the very bottom, where it says bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now. That's more of a dismissive to writer, to the character that, you know, that they're interacting with, rather than or rather than to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, something tells me that's a break from the cutscene right there.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is definitely the end of the exchange between these two characters. So it's just trying to be dismissive, but politely dismissive.
And he may be recording like the entire time. It's just that he plans on editing it later.
Yeah. So, but I think it really starts off, with professional and focused.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much. That's when reporter mode kicks in, right there.
Yeah.
I see. It makes sense.
So yeah, the entire time it's a personal interaction until you get to that point, then it's professional, and then afterwards it's like, okay, well, whatever, we're done.
Yeah, pretty much what you'd see in a real world situation. They did a lot of this out. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Writer, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drakes asks us for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale that Drake's looking for.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all? Are those scars in your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
That sign-off was really, really good.
Mm-hmm. It was.
That was an excellent sign-off.
So you got it there. At the beginning, though, I mean, I don't want this to sound negative, but I do want to point this out, or I don't want this to sound harsh, but I do want to point this out. I can tell that character work is definitely not in your comfort zone.
Honestly, it's the first time I've ever tried to do a character read.
Well, the thing about character reads is, character maybe is not always the best way to describe it, because that oftentimes sets an image of I have to be this other person. When in any kind of performance you do, bringing yourself out in it is the best way to stand apart from everybody else because you're you. So this is you being a freelancer. We're just replacing your name with Jordan Tate.
Yeah.
Because this character has no definition right now. Like they probably have the general storyline of how they want the character to be, to be brought about, where they want the character to do, where they want it to go. But you're really the person who's bringing it to life, which means this is you. So basically, what you're doing is you're very poignantly and professionally introducing yourself at the very beginning. Like this is like a business meeting where whoever you've been talking to told you all about this person you're going to go meet. So now you actually get to meet them. Ryder, is it? Or Ryder, isn't it? It's like, is that you? You're the person I'm here to meet? Michael Montez, freelance vidmaker. Basically just you're the person there. That's the most important part, is you putting yourself in that situation. Character acting. What am I talking about? Pick up. A long night. Yes. Character acting, really, it flows freely when you think of yourself in these kinds of situations. Where have you been in this kind of a situation where you've suddenly been really professional with someone else? I remember, just as an example, when it comes to this opening part, Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker, when you're getting down to, business, I had a job once where I would interact with various quote-unquote professionals in their own fields. And these are fields like, I don't know, crystal astrology and, crazy things like that. But that's a story for a different time. But, I would have to interact with these people, and it was the same kind of idea. You're presenting yourself very professionally because you have a motive, you have an end goal for this whole exchange, and you want to try to get down to business as soon as possible. But you got to draw off of your own experiences to get into the headspace here. Like down at the bottom, no trouble at all. That's incredulous. Imagine a teenager. Like, they notice something going on with their parents, and their parents give them some offhanded lie. But, they're at that age where they're just like, I'm not going to take this crap. Really? No trouble at all? Or the scars on your arm are just from popping the champagne? Like, calling them out on the BS. When have you done that in your life? When have you been really disdainful about stuff that's been going on around you? And just think of that headspace. Think of where you were at that point, and try to draw on those feelings. That's more of what character acting is.
I appreciate the advice.
Is being in the place. So think of a time where you in your life were in that same emotional place, and draw off of that.
Okay.
Anyway, now that I've done my rant, you're all free to do whatever you want to.
It's nearly 3. I don't know. Is there anybody else that hasn't read that wants the opportunity?
Let's see. Oh, Takia hasn't gone.
Me neither.
And Dodge has not gone.
And Dodge.
So Dodge, you're going to do the tough mercenary, right?
Exactly.
Takia, would you like to go, or would you like to just listen?
I'd like to go.
Okay. Well, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Okay. I kind of switched back and forth between which script I was going to read. And I was going to read like the mercenary one. But after your and Nathan's performance, Michael, I like, okay, probably should switch to the other one.
I mean, you shouldn't use their performance as a benchmark for yours, because yours is naturally going to be different.
Yeah, never use another person's performance as a benchmark for yourself. You are you, and you have your own take to deliver on this.
If you want to give life to the tough mercenary, go ahead and be a tough mercenary. Grab a gun and shoot a random person in the street. Don't do that, though. That's illegal.
Wow.
Yeah,
Let me preface this by saying that the VAU does not condone that sort of activity. The opinions expressed herein are solely those of the people expressing the opinions, and do not necessarily encompass the views of the VAU. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Toss that disclaimer in at the end of the show now.
Awesome. I promote that.
And at the beginning. Oh. Gee, I've done this plenty of times on TV, but
I've heard some really good advice in this forum. That was not one of them.
Method acting.
Again, we do not advise anyone to do that.
But yeah, if you want to try tough mercenary, go for it.
Well, I was thinking on doing the worried one. The worried mercenary.
Well, you can. The worried mercenary is not the part that is up for audition. But you can very much do the worried mercenary if you would like.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I don't, wow. I don't feel very confident in doing the tough one.
Okay. I'll do the tough one for you if you want.
Okay, there we go. Dad's doing tough
do
mercenary.
You ready?
Sure.
Take it away, you two.
I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from the crash. Here's your share.
You said we split the take evenly.
It's even. Do the math.
I got a family. You don't. This isn't fair. We agreed
To
to.
split the profits 50-50. How you feed your family is your problem.
I just kept thinking, what if I hadn't left the capital? Maybe I wouldn't have to worry about where my kid next meals are coming from.
We're doing better than some.
But I worry that one day I'll come across Sanders and find my kid murdered.
Sanders doesn't kill kids. And you don't know that would Sanders doesn't kill kids. And you don't know that wouldn't have happened in the Capitol.
There were laws back there. Out here, thugs are running the place.
A thug wearing the uniform is still a thug. Sanders was head of security back in the Capitol, and look what she's become. Trust me, things like rule of law, like decency, out the window when things go bad.
So you wouldn't go back if you got the chance?
Hell no. Hell no. It's not the best here, but I get to decide my life. It's what we wanted, right? A new start.
I thought that was good too, Kia. I think that when you do characters, you loosen up so much more and you get so much more expression in there. Especially that one line, there were laws back there, out here it's thugs running the place. I thought that was a really good delivery of that.
It was a good delivery.
Thanks. Well, I love doing character reads, so any character read that you throw at me, I'll take it like a charm because I want to be in a video game or a cartoon one day. So yeah.
Well, this is definitely your chance. And
This is your chance.
And that's it. And this is
they
your
did a
chance.
very good. Both of them just. I mean,
Well,
there was a couple stumbles and mumbles there, but good
like
recovery.
that. Stumbles and mumbles. Well, Dodge, which one did you want to do? Because we're running. We're it's definitely taking some time. So let's.
Jordan Tate, I got you.
You want to do Jordan Tate?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Alyssa, your writer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Go for it.
I got this. Writer, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vid maker. Superintendent Drakes asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation: paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all. Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what's going in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
I thought the response from the from Ryder, well, to me it was a little harsh. Just me. But if anyone has any other opinion, go right ahead.
Okay, apparently not.
No, actually, it came off pretty well. You know, of course, with all the direction, advice, and everything that we were handing out during the mic check, it was well absorbed and very good.
Thank you.
Well, why don't you go for it one more time?
Okay.
We'll have a safety take.
You want a safety? Okay.
Yes, we'll do safety.
The writer, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drake asks for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation: paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
Nope. No trouble at all. Are those scars on your arm just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what's going on. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
I really liked that, the third line when you said uplifting documentary, because I feel like I've been wanting this, like listening to other people's reads. I wanted to actually hear that uplifting was in quotation marks.
Yeah, I can hear the air quotes.
Yeah, you hit that really well.
Thank you.
Nice little Chris Farley. Uplifting.
I think the writer line, it was first it was much better the second time around than the first. So yeah, good on ya.
Good.
Oh, all right. And it is 4 minutes after 3, and right here at the top of the hour, it's time to end the VAU mic check. But we are here every Saturday. Yeah, I know. I just dove into that broadcasting thing. We are here every Saturday. And if you missed it, we are, well, right here on YouTube. Leave us a comment below, subscribe, and come join us. You know, help us to fill this thing up. We're on Zoom. We can fill this thing up with 50 people. So come on down and help us pack the room out and enjoy having a good time playing pretend and playing it fully. It's
once again, also, yeah, it has been a blast. Sorry to cut you off there, Nathan, but I do want to put this out there as well. You are welcome to contact either Nathan or myself from the VAU. We do have our direct contact information there. We would love to be able to work with you as well if you have any questions or would like to, would like some one-on-one with either a character voice actor or, somebody who's a little bit more to the narration side. So, yeah, feel free to contact us about anything that you'd like. We hope to hear from you as well. We're looking forward to it.
And with that, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.